In this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about point horrors and Fear Street, Stephen King's version of an Oompa Loompa, horse manure and hot chocolate, and zombie apocalypse plans in the library with Cynthia Murphy, author of Last One to Die. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult books, series, authors, and voice actors that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to talk to Cynthia Murphy, author of Last One to Die. Yay! Enjoy! I've seen Terminator, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we know.
It was a documentary.
It's coming for us all.
It wasn't a movie, it was a documentary.
Jeez. Don't get us started talking about 90s movies now. We'll never get to what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah. It is my pub quiz go-to topic. I could answer them all.
Excellent. We will definitely get to that then. We need to talk about 90s movies because it's our favorite thing. But anyway, it's not time for that yet. Claire, is it time?
It's time.
Would you rather?
It's time. Would you rather? Woo!
Yay! Yay! I'm so excited. Oh, and did you hear that? There is someone else laughing at our ridiculousness. It's Cynthia Murphy! And we're so excited.
Hello!
We're so excited that you're here, but we have to contain our excitement right now. It's only Would You Rather excitement, and then it will be book excitement later, because oh my gosh, did we love this book. So,
progressive levels of excitement. Okay, let's answer the ridiculousness first. Okay.
Ready?
Go! We asked on social media, would you rather work as an actor at a zoo or at the Victorian Street Museum? On Facebook, 29% of you are working in a zoo and 71% in a museum. On Instagram, 28% in a zoo, 72% in a museum. On Twitter, 44% at the zoo and 56% in the museum. And on TikTok, 44% zoo, 56% museum. I get really spooked out when the stats are so close or exactly the same. It makes me uncomfortable.
I know. They're very close to each other this time. At least, 2 and 2.
I'm surprised.
They're very close.
I can't believe so many people picked the zoo.
I honestly thought more people would pick the zoo because animals are cute and better than humans.
Oh, yeah, but if you're acting in a zoo, what do they expect that they'll be doing?
There's no poop in the costume, You just...
Oh, yes. But, I don't like those, though. I don't like people in big heads.
No? Would you prefer, body paint as opposed to, a furry suit?
I don't know. They both have their own levels of creep, don't they? Depends whether there's anything under the body paint.
Ooh.
Let's have some comments and see if that'll sway opinions before we start getting into the body paint / furries discussion, because that way is
the very first one is about why they don't want to work in the zoo.
Well, there we go.
Dakota P1228 on TikTok said Victorian Street Museum because Victorian dresses are gorgeous and I wouldn't want to crawl around on all fours pretending to be an animal.
Fair.
Yep.
Fair.
Yeah, very fair.
What was if you like the back half of a giraffe or something? Okay. Colin on Facebook says, I'll have zoo so long as I get to dress like a panda and mess with people. Or at least look after the baby pandas because they're just so cute.
Depends how he means mess with people.
Probably pretend
Hopefully
to be a real animal and then jump out at them.
Yeah.
And try and escape from
I hope
enclosures.
so. Yeah, take his head off.
Yes. Coral on Facebook said, I love animals, so I would have to go with the zoo. Just as long as I don't get eaten by a lion. I'll be good.
Just don't go to the lion enclosure. Problem solved.
Don't act like a lion and you'll be fine. Or a gazelle. Don't be a gazelle. Lions will eat you.
Fact. Steph on Facebook said, zoo! Because animals make my heart happy. There was heavy emphasis on the ooh.
Oh,
yes.
I feel like I need to ruin these people's opinions because the actual that comes from real life. So I was desperate to go to drama school, and I did a summer program with a girl who it was a play scheme program. So we were like just looking after children for the summer, and she had just come back from drama school, and she had to spend an entire week with her class in a cage at London Zoo pretending. And she was like, no, I don't need to go to drama school. That's it. Done. So that's where that comes from. So sorry to all the people who think it's like cute and lovely animals, and no.
It's actually terrible.
Well, you see, this is why I like El Kev on Instagram, because he seems to be a bit more realistic with it. He says, although the museum will most likely have that weird old smell of 100-year-old dust mite poop and rotting furniture and carpets, I'd still pick it over having monkeys throw their poop at me all day. So he's, you know, if you're in a cage pretending to be a monkey, do you have to throw the poop as well?
Yes.
Depends how far you're willing to like get into your art.
Method actor. We're all De Niro's
It's method
here.
acting, yes. Books are forever on Instagram said zoo, because at least if you die and it happens to be in an animal enclosure, then at least the animal won't starve to death.
That's very realistic.
She took it too far. Or
far enough. You see, at least Criminal Lefroy on Instagram says Victorian Street Museum, so I can play dress up. So we do have one defender of the museums in the comments.
Yes. Oh, Marrow Child on Instagram as well. Victorian Street Museum for sure. I already have the outfits.
Well, there you go.
Yep, I know who that is. She does. She does indeed.
There you go. I think there was one more. Oh, it was Brie Tart on Instagram, actor at the zoo. It means I can see more of the animals. To be fair, do you have to be an actor at the zoo to go and see the animals? I was recently at Edinburgh Zoo. I saw the animals without playing dress up. So...
But what if you like to play dress up?
Well, then play dress up, but you don't have
Imagine if somebody put you in a zoo for a week and said, get in that cage and pretend to be an animal. Just no.
I'm guessing Victorian Street Museum by that then, Cynthia.
Yes, definitely. That is definitely. Victorian Street Museum. Get to play dress up, get to poke around musty old things, which is possibly my favourite thing ever. And the pretty boys there.
The pretty boys. Oh, Tommy. Oh, he's so pretty. He can be my boyfriend.
If only he could breathe fire.
And if only he was like alive.
Yeah.
And not a
alive
serial
would
killer.
help. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? You win some, you lose some. People can change.
You can't have it all.
Exactly.
You know.
What about you, Amanda? Where are you going to be?
Hold on. I gotta talk about Tommy.
We're unpacking
I gotta talk about Tommy for just a second. Because even though he's a crazy fucking murderer, he was so kind and gentle stroking those bones. Caring for his skeleton.
He loved her.
He was so sweet with his bone stroking. So
can you please phrase that in a different way?
No. It was purposefully inappropriate. Bone stroking. So, anyway, Tommy's not all bad. If only he could breathe fire, he would be better, but...
No, had to cut some bits.
Fine.
Because in the original story, like in the original Spring Heel Jack thing, he also wore a white oilskin, like, tight-fitted suit.
That would make it stand out. I mean, to be fair, though, in London...
It would, yeah. Some bits had to go, you know.
If this was Soho, probably would get away with it.
Maybe, yeah. He's not allowed on that side of the river, though.
Shame.
He's a South Bank boy.
I'm obviously I'm gonna pick the museum as well. We can all hang out in the museum.
Hey,
together.
you say obvious, but you've dressed as a bat, as a ferret. You've done, the donkey horse's head. What was the last thing you did that was an animal?
Raccoon.
Yes.
I was a raccoon recently.
So you say obviously. Really?
That's true. I do like dressing as an animal for cosplay more than I like wearing Victorian clothes because I just don't have a lot of those. But I do have body paint. and a bunch of weird ears and teeth. So maybe I should pick animal at the zoo. Maybe I should pick the zoo. I'm changing my mind. I'm picking the zoo.
Oh, you'll regret it.
I'm sorry.
I can't imagine being one of those real life installations. Like, you know,
it gives me the fear. Like, there's not a lot that I'm frightened of, but real life stuff like that, if somebody made me go and do it. And I mean, when you're like 18, you just go, okay, like, I'll do it. You know, you wouldn't argue against it. You just like hate yourself while pretending to lick a paw, you know.
There you go, you were a cat.
I did. Sorry for her.
Very recently as well, Amanda, you were a cat. The videos.
Was I? When was I a cat?
Spells trouble. You
Oh yeah, I was a cat woman. I was Xena. I was a cat woman, but she's more of a woman.
She's still a cat that turns into a person.
But she is still a cat. You're right. I did lick myself and eat tuna.
I have the video proof. It's online. Check it out. All of our social medias.
I need to get back into the cosplaying stuff. I don't have any more excuses anymore. All my boxes are unpacked.
Ha.
It's
there's just been nowhere to go to do it.
Yeah, it's true. But now I've got some good choices. You know, there's the past couple of books that we've done, I haven't really had anything that I could actually be.
There's not been a lot of meat to the characters. No, there's not been a lot of meat there.
But see, this one I can have a missing eyeball. I can wear, you know, the white oilskin suit.
You can be in a mausoleum stroking a bone.
I can stroke a bone. I can... What else? I feel like I had something else in my head earlier that I was really thinking about being, and now I can't think of what it is.
Victorian mourning portrait.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Punch and Judy.
Oh, I fucking hate Punch and Judy.
Also horrible.
I detest
the
them.
devil?
Hate them.
So many... I just need to see what you request, and then I will accept all challenges. We can worry about that later. Let's move on to our next question.
By the way, it's Victorian Museum, just so you know.
Oh. I thought that's what you picked.
Yeah,
I thought you said it earlier. Yeah, clearly. Okay. Would you rather have someone take pictures of you while you're sleeping, or wake up in a coffin with someone else's bones?
Pictures.
That's so invasive, though.
Oh, it's so creepy.
I know, but can you imagine just waking up in somebody else's coffin?
But the thing is, with taking pictures of somebody, and if it's pictures of you, that's really invasive. It's really intrusive. I don't like that. You know, when you see people on social media posting pictures of like their friends and family asleep, I don't like it. It's like, no, don't do it.
No, I don't like.
Commission involved in that. I mean, it's not really.
I'm not a pretty sleeper either.
No, there's drool everywhere. 99% of the time, the makeup has not been taken off prior to bed because, realistic, not everybody does that.
No,
all over places.
I've got retainers at night.
Yes.
Not nice.
Exactly. But at least if you're waking up in a coffin with somebody else's bones, you know, that's an interesting story for the future. How often does that happen?
True.
You can also stroke them.
Exactly. Stroke of the bone. Where's Scully Joe? I should have brought him up.
You should have. There needs to be more bones in this conversation.
It does. He's downstairs pretending to be a vampire still.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely waking up in a coffin just for the unattractiveness of the sleeping. Also, it's really creepy.
It's really
more creepy. Especially since, you know, you don't know who did it. And then they're gone right after? Yikes!
Yeah. No, I do not like that. Do not like that.
Mm-mm.
That's what we like to hear. Good.
Now, the coffin lid cannot be on. That's just adding to the claustrophobia factor of that one, though. So I'll be in the coffin, lid open. I don't mind the bones, whatever.
Well, she was lid open, so that's fair. But she was in the shroud.
Yeah.
So you'd be like all wrapped up.
That sounds cosy to me. Like, oh, this is nice.
All that velvet.
Just snuggle down for the 5 minutes. That sounds really
nice. It's cozy.
It's going to happen.
It really is.
Next question.
Yes.
Would you rather go on the ghost tour or the museum tour? See, I've done both. Not necessarily the ones from the book, but I've done both.
I want to do both. Ghost tour.
Yeah.
Just because when you're in a museum, you can like wander on your own. But with a ghost tour, they take you to places and explain the horrendous history, and I like that.
Yeah. I feel like you would get more good stories from a ghost tour as well. You know, it's going to be led by a really good storyteller.
Yeah.
So I think that would be more exciting than a museum tour.
And some of the ones that they do in the UK, they take you around pubs.
Yes.
So you go to a pub and have a drink, and they tell you a haunted story, and then you go to the next pub and they do the same.
There's a one in Edinburgh that you'd
Do
like,
the
Amanda,
books.
and it's a literary book tour. So it's not necessarily ghosts, but it's literature.
I'm in.
I mean, it might be a bit
Let's
too
do
much, a bit too much classics potentially, but it's books and it's pubs and it's Edinburgh. I mean, what's not to love?
Sold. Yep.
Can I dress up?
Yeah, I've
Cool.
dressed up for a ghost tour before. I was Daphne from Scooby Doo because obviously.
What did you dress up
Daphne
as?
from Scooby
Oh,
Doo.
no. Okay.
I should have been Velma because of the glasses, but it was a birthday party in Edinburgh and it was a graveyard tour, and there was a banana and a box set and Batwoman and other assorted people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a bit drunk and walking past that graveyard and just seeing Daphne and a banana and
The banana for me. That's what I'm excited about.
We were on the Edinburgh webcam.
Yeah, just like
There used to be a web camera on the Royal Mile, and we were seen bobbing down. All you could see was this big banana and this orange wig.
oh god.
I had to ask to make sure it was okay if we went in costume because it might detract from the entire ghost thing. But people seem to appreciate it.
Yeah, people always like a costume.
It's good.
Exactly. Anywho.
Okay, next question.
Yes.
Would you rather get non-lethally squished between library stacks or be kicked down an escalator?
Squished, I think. Yeah, squished.
You're gonna get squished.
Because you could maneuver a little bit between the shelves. The thought of falling down one of those big escalators is horrible. I hate heights. No.
I don't like heights either, but getting squished by the library stacks is frightening.
Yeah.
You can just imagine them slowly closing in. But in this case, and I mean,
Non-lethal though.
right, it's non-lethal, so it's fine. And there were some oversized books that could potentially keep them from closing all the way, so might not be so bad.
You see, having we talked a little about this earlier when we were talking about the summary, and we both, I volunteered in the library in the special collections section. There was the rolling stacks. Amanda is, a librarian as well, and so we've both been there. But I'm sorry, books, but I would sacrifice the hell out of you if I was going to get squished. I would just be pulling the books down off the stacks because then they would close. Well,
No, especially not the ones in the special collections. No,
the only reason
put your gloves on and
no, you
be
don't wear
gentle with
gloves.
them.
Gloves are more dangerous. These weren't this wasn't the Charles Dickens first edition. That was in the rare room. These ones were just minutes from meetings for coal miner associations, and I'm like, yeah, I'll sacrifice the hell out of them. And that stacks. It's gone. It's gone. I don't need to know about who attended and who gave apologies to the meeting in 1918. Sorry. Some history doesn't need to be noted down. It would sacrifice them.
So nobody's falling down the escalator?
No, but you know why? The teeth on the escalator stairs, if you think about it, those things are jagged and they're going to rip you to shreds. And
Ooh, especially like your long hair.
that's going to get
You just
caught.
get your
Oh, yeah.
hair caught. Oh.
And we've all
And the
seen
concrete bottom.
X-Files. We've all seen the Eugene Toombs episodes. And every time I think about escalators, I think about Eugene Toombs and him getting squished in an escalator. We've all seen that. It could happen. Nope.
Oh, horrible. Yeah, no to escalators.
Escalators are dangerous.
It's mad the amount of people who get in touch with me after reading that paragraph, that section, because it just must be a universal fear, you know, the lights going out and being stuck on the escalator. It's like,
do not like.
Just
everybody hates it.
all of the lights going out all over the place. I'm scared of the dark, so lights going out immediately, no. Mm-mm.
I was on a
Hearing
ghost
the
hunt
metallic-
when that happened. It was terrifying. Walking upstairs. It wasn't an escalator, it was an old keep. And the lights went out, and that was terrifying. No. But it wasn't like because it was scary being in the castle, it was just the lights went out and we couldn't see anything. That was the scary aspect, not ghosts. Would you not just sit down? Like, if the escalators... Because if the power goes out, the escalator's going to stop. Just sit down. Right, while we're here.
Or just, walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
Don't kick people down the stairs.
No, but if there's, if they're there and they have a vaguely threatening aura, then you kick them down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it's okay.
So it's fine.
I don't know about you, Amanda, but the lesson I'm learning here is don't go up escalators with Cynthia if you're behind her. You go first.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be on an escalator with you at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I would keep a good 6 feet away just to...
That's just good practice anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. You're just doing your duty.
Yeah.
Anywho. Next question.
Last question.
As
a matter of fact.
Wow. Would you rather have your eyeball or your fingernails violently removed?
Ooh. I hate both of these questions. I've got such a thing about fingernails. When in horror films, when you see someone trying to get away and they pull them and the fingernails they all break. It's horrible. I hate it. However, I feel the same about eyes.
You wrote it. You have to choose. It's your fault.
Fingernails, because they will grow back.
Ugh.
Your eye's not going to grow back, and I don't know how good I'd look in a patch.
You could bedazzle it. It could be beautiful. Oh, yeah.
It could just be my look.
Yes.
And then, when you want to scare small children, you just kind of peel it back, and then there's just an empty eyeball.
Yeah. One-eyed Willy style. Like, yeah.
Claire, didn't we recently talk about having glass eyes just a few episodes ago? Why does everything keep doubling back on itself?
Can I do another callback? Horror store fingernails.
Yes.
Remember?
I haven't read it. Oh, I've not read it. But I love Grady Hendrix.
Horror store is
you should read it.
Amazing. Or you could cheat and just listen to our episode when we discussed it.
You could. Or read our summary online, because that's also available. I think that one's up.
I have an IKEA trip on the horizon, so I'll wait until after that's done.
That's probably for the best.
It's too real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
What about you, Amanda? Eyeball or fingernails?
I'm thinking about horror movies and fingernails now, and I think the worst one, or it's one of my favorites, but it happens in Stir of Echoes, and it's really
yes,
that's a really good snapping. I'm getting chills thinking about it, but that's a really good fingernail snap scene. And
that's a good film. That's a really good film.
It. Oh, it creeps me out so much. I love it. But I think just for the same reason a couple episodes ago, I'm gonna go for the eyeball so I can have a glass eye. And swap them out and make them exciting. I'm taking
make it an accessory. Yeah.
Yes, or bedazzling an eye patch.
I wish I could remember what we talked about.
It's all beauty all the time. That was Bloodlines. That was Keith.
Yes!
Keith getting his eyeball popped
That's
out.
right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep. So what are you doing?
Damn it.
Are you
I thought you were going to forget me.
Are you violently removing your fingernails or your eyeball?
Ugh,
I
ugh.
feel like the fingernail pain would last longer because you've got 5. Well, yeah, but eyeball, it's just gonna...
You could have all 10.
Yeah.
And your toes.
It will
Oh.
grow back, though.
Oh, I just keep getting chills.
Do you know the other thing is, I was thinking...
It's a horrible question.
Yes.
I'm busy doing one-eyed
Oh.
stuff because I'm both long and short-sighted. And I'm like, well, if I take one, how am I going to get glasses? I can't get contact lenses. My eyes are too dry. So I'm kind of like, what's going to happen with the other one? Would it just be blacked out? Because that would be really boring.
Well, you could have a clear lens.
Oh, you could have a monocle. You could have a
Yes!
monocle.
I could
Monocle.
go full steampunk
Yes.
all the time. That could be my aesthetic.
Yes.
Sold.
Yes.
Bye-bye eyeball. I'm going steampunk all the time.
Perfect.
100%.
It's perfect.
Cogs everywhere. Random
Mhm.
stuff. I want one of those teacup
Mhm.
attachments for my belt.
Yes.
Sold. And a hip flask,
Obviously.
obviously.
Good. I'm glad we're both going like weird accessories with our missing eyeball.
If you're gonna lose an appendage or something, you've got to go with the accessories. I mean, come on, you've lost the stylish sunglasses realistically because they're no use anymore. And plus, you can do interesting things with your hair with the fringes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabrielle in the
Yep.
90s, that was her whole aesthetic. One eye.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I never saw like underneath it.
Was there anything underneath?
Because it
Glass eye. There's a glass eye
I think
underneath.
there
Glass
was.
eye,
was there.
or was there a void in time and space? Could she see
Could
into
be.
your soul and it was actually magic?
Yes.
I'm gonna
She's
have
one
to
of the
Google.
fates. She's passing her remaining eyeball betwixt herself and her sisters. What? Yikes. I don't know. That's the end. That's the end of Would You Rather. That's the end. What a perfect ending. Eyeballs. Eyeballs and fingernails. It's a great ending.
I also know why Gabrielle has a fringe. It's amazing what Google tells you.
Go on.
She has a medical condition called fortis, also known as belphrotitis, since childhood.
Okay.
can't
I don't
get
know
anything.
any of those words that you just said.
No, neither do I.
No, that is no clearer.
It was
Nope,
the
it's-
eye
Then
was
it was
there.
just
it's just
making
a
up words.
The eye was there, just a medical condition. Means that she covered it up. But she styles it out. She styles
Okay.
it out.
She did. Yeah, she did indeed.
That's great. I love it. Okay. That's the end of Would You Rather. Now it's over. Now that we have that riddle solved, it's over. So now we have other non-Would You Rather questions. And the very first one is about 90s horror.
Oh my gosh.
Yay!
It's like
I know,
me.
I'm so shocked that we would talk about 90s horror on the podcast. Because it's not our favorite thing or anything like that. Okay, so, last one to die. Totally feels like it could be a movie. And we know from doing research that you watched a lot of 90s horror while you were writing it. And
Yeah.
also probably just in general. So,
Yeah.
what's your favorite scary movie and your favorite horror books?
Scream.
Good choice.
Classic.
Just
Good choice.
oh, it's just so good, and it's still so good. Like it's aged so well, and it, I loved all that meta stuff that wasn't even a thing then. It was just brilliant. It was so clever, and I'd watched all the older, so Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, and so you could see where it was kind of pulling those apart and taking the mick out of them, and it was just brilliant. And books, I used to love a lot of Stephen King. But I've started to collect point horrors again.
Yeah.
I'm actually really sorry that I gave all mine away. So every time I buy one off eBay or somewhere, I look in the front cover because I just hope that one day I'll get one with my name in it, because I used to always write my name in. So if anyone gets a point horror with Cynthia Power written in.
Aw,
Yeah. So
that's really cute.
yeah, point horrors. I just devoured
love
them. They were
point
just
horrors.
brilliant. They were so easy and fast, and you know, I always wanted to be the cheerleader or the like. I was obsessed. I wanted to move to America and be a cheerleader and go to a sorority. And I didn't know what any of those things were, but they all sounded really cool.
Yep. Yeah.
And I now know that teenage me would not have got into any of those.
You probably would have
Like,
hated
not
all those
even
people
me.
too.
And probably, yeah, oh, they would have hated me. So, but yeah, I think Stephen King was like the gateway drug to adult horror because there was nothing else. I read all the point horrors at the library, and then I snuck out into the adult section because I remember the librarian used to just like raise an eyebrow when I would get 7 Stephen Kings out.
Will you read
And
these?
then I just wouldn't sleep.
Yes.
I think it was more like, does anybody know that you're reading these? You're 13.
That's
Possibly not. Okay.
That's something that's really great now, though, because, I mean, YA horror is huge right now, and it
Yeah.
did not exist apart from point horror and, like Fear Street.
Yeah.
That's all there was, and then you had to just skip right along to Stephen
And
King.
stuff like Sweet Valley High thrillers.
Oh.
Yeah. I only liked the thrillers or the scary Halloween
I
ones.
never got into Sweet
All
Valley
the others
High.
I found a little bit boring.
Point horror, yes. Fear Streets, yes. Point crimes.
I never read Fear Street. I never really knew it was a thing.
I think that
Now you can start
So-
collecting those as well.
Yeah, well, I would have to read them again. So that would say it's like point horrors. At least I've like read.
Yeah.
Feel a bit of
I
a
used to have the point horror collections rather than the individual
fraud if I
books.
start collecting things.
I love them so much.
I've got some, the big 3.
Yeah. And I think it's because I used to read
No,
other
they're all
R.L.
in the other-
Steins that's why I found Fear Street.
Right.
Yeah.
I've just bought a book actually, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm hoping it's one that I remembered from being a teenager. But all I could remember about was a vague storyline and that it had a blue cover. And I couldn't remember the name or the author, but it was about a girl who moved to a house and there'd been a murder in her room. And then the person who had done the murder tried to drown her. And that's all I remember about it. And I've been trying to find it for years, like online. If that rings a bell with anyone, please tell me who it was.
Amanda, get on the case.
I will.
It's-
I will be on it.
Use
as
your
soon as we're
librarian
finished.
powers. Your librarian superpowers.
I will.
Someone Nixon is the book that I have. I can't remember her first name. She's quite a well-known YA author. Someone Nixon. But yeah, so
I'll be
Stephen
on it.
King, point horror, and
What's your favorite Stephen King?
I have a couple. So I like Pet Sematary. I say like, I think it was the first thing that absolutely like destroyed me.
Oh.
It scared the crap out of me. I really liked Needful Things, which I don't think is a super popular one, but
It's a good one though.
I liked it. Was a small town and it was like through so many different points of view, and it was just really dark. Like there was no good outcome at the end of it. It was just super, super dark. And, teenage me thought that was really realistic. And I liked Insomnia. That was another kind of out there one with the little men who would go around cutting people's like life balloons, I guess they were. And this person kept waking up at night and seeing these little men like
That's
all I remember
terrifying.
about it, but it is horrible. These like little men in overalls cutting everybody's life balloons. And but I remember that one. I remember buying it, reading it that night, and I had a skylight in my bedroom, and I remember it just getting light, and I was still going. I was like, couldn't have. I probably wouldn't have slept anyway, to be fair.
Because of the little men.
Got images of Oompa Loompas as well. They're terrifying. These, oh, do not like.
Stephen King on Palumpas. It's like the scariest combination ever.
Ooh, I wonder what they would look like. I wonder what he would do to them to make them more terrifying.
Little Pennywises.
Have really big Yeah, really big mouths,
Yeah.
like smile.
Yeah, too many teeth.
Like really wide. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just bought the 90s version of It, actually, to watch this weekend. I've not seen it in ages.
I love it. Oh, I love it so much.
And I've seen the new one, but...
You can't beat Tim Curry.
So...
And I will
cannot.
fight anybody who says otherwise.
Yeah, that scene with the drain and little Georgie, it's just...
Yeah.
Iconic and horrible.
I'm sad. I almost put on my Pennywise shirt for today, and then I decided, no, I'm not going to put on Pennywise. I'm not going to put that on. It'll be fine. You couldn't even see it anyway, but I almost put it on. I should have.
You have it on your heart.
I do.
You are a killer clown in your heart.
I am.
And cosplay.
Yes. And no, I was murdered by the killer clown in the cosplay. No, I have been a killer clown. That was recently. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Trust me, I know your cosplay.
I've been too many things. No, that's not a thing. There's never too much cosplay. Oh. And now I'm thinking about Dr. Sleep, because I love Dr. Sleep, and I was Rose.
I really like Dr. Sleep. Yes, she is. Well, she's just so fashionable for like a horrible soul-sucking demon creature.
Hey,
yeah.
Soul-sucking
Wears
demons
hats
can be
really
fashionable as well.
Well, yeah, I suppose that was very judgmental.
How dare you?
How dare you? I'm sure there's many people in the fashion industry who would agree with the sentiment of the more fashionable they are.
Yeah.
That's how they stay young and young. They don't need the blood of children or virgins. They just like suck the life out of all these models and everybody in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
But see, then
it's not Botox.
Right, yeah, they can stay thin. It's because their souls are being sucked away. No surgery involved.
Sign me up.
You need to find a pish taco. Right?
Yes.
What?
Do you know pish tacos? Fat sucking vampires?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I want one.
Now we're hearkening back to another episode.
This is basically what we've been doing for the past couple of hours, is like mentioning something and going,
I know.
But we've talked about this before. We
talked about this. We did. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on from 90s horror. Even though, I gotta say that, just gotta throw in my favorites here, even though everyone knows already, Candyman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Candyman.
Yeah.
Super excited for the new one that's coming out. And also there's a new Scream, right?
Is there?
Scream 5 is coming too. So
is there?
I think it's out in January. I think it was meant to be this January, but they all got moved.
Yeah.
We all know I have no life. I don't know what's going on in the world right now. I did not know this.
Yeah.
See,
new Scream. Very exciting.
I'm obsessed with horror movies, though.
Yeah, well,
like, you didn't even know that the Fear Street movies were a thing, and I was like, Claire, let's talk about the Fear Street movies, and you're like, what?
I don't have your life right. Just talk to me on the 16th of September. I'm going to catch up with the world then.
You watched those?
God, yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah, me and my sister buddy watched them, which just meant that we watched them, drank wine, and texted each other the entire time.
I love buddy watching.
Sounds good.
That was good fun. We liked that.
Yeah. Which one did you like the best? Which movie?
I think the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're very different.
I loved the camp.
The camp was good too.
They are really different. Camp was good, but there was no reason for it. It really was a middle film, wasn't it? You know, you had to know what had happened in the first one. But I love the 90s aesthetic, and the opening with Maya Hawke doing Scream was just, and like the Fear Street books in the shop, and it was just brilliant. I loved it. But the last one, apart from the dodgy accents, which was like watching Buffy back in, you know, whenever it went to an Angel episode. It was like, they were awful. I couldn't figure out, were they meant to be German immigrants or Irish? think it was Irish in the end.
Oh, that was a nightmare.
But,
that was the only thing. The third one was my favorite, but I just like cringed for the whole
it was
time in the
cringe.
1600s. Like, oh, stop it. Stop talking. You're so bad.
I just wish they wouldn't bother with accents unless you're actually going to be able to pull off the accent properly, like do it full justice. Just don't. And just have...
Well, they didn't need it either. It didn't, they could have just had a line at the beginning like, oh, do you remember when we settled here 5 years ago? And, that would have been fine.
And also, it was kind of like all of the people that the main character knew, and she's imagining it like, because she wasn't really the witch. The witch was a different person. It was a different, like, there was a different actress for Sarah Fear every now and then. So, they could have just been themselves.
Exactly.
And it would have been fine.
I think it would have been better that way, to be fair. That's what drives me crazy about certain things. Like, I was talking to somebody who watched Chernobyl. I don't know did you get it over in America? And
I've only seen the first.
I haven't watched
I stopped
it
watching
yet.
it after the first one.
But they loved it. They watched it all the way through, and I said, "Oh, did they do the the accents where they're trying to be Russian or Ukrainian and things?" No, they just were their accents that they were. They just came in, did the lines, and she enjoyed it because they did because they didn't try and do terrible Russian style accents. It didn't make you cringe all the way
it would have been ridiculous. Definitely.
And when you do Russian accents, like you can't do a subtle Russian accent. If you're doing a Russian accent, like everyone really like slathers it on, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do, like, and I enjoy it myself, but not as a presentation tool. Mm-mm.
Not as a professional part of your career.
No.
Something to put on your CV.
No, I wouldn't. No.
We all know I'm not allowed to do accents.
That's correct. You're not allowed to do accents. At all. Ever.
Not even my own.
You have a good accent, though.
Really?
I know it doesn't sound like it to you, but I've just got a Manc accent.
I like listening to the both of you. Makes me happy.
We need to start
Here
talking
I
about...
am with you.
We need to start talking about things being
a
good crack and
honky-tonk.
mint and saying bloody hell, just to really confuse.
I mean, I understand all those things. I'm not an idiot, but
you've been talking to me for 2 years. If you haven't picked up on some of it by now,
I know. And I feel like now that you've teamed up, you have someone else from your neck of the woods. You're being exceptionally British again, and you're doing it on purpose. And I know that you are.
I'm not.
So we need to get you that shirt. We have an exceptionally British shirt on our website, and you need the exceptionally British shirt. I know you, Claire. I'm judging you.
You always judge.
I do, but it's with love. It's with love. I judge with love. What's next?
I have no idea anymore.
Ooh, let's go back and talk about your book some more.
Oh yes, we're talking about a book, aren't we?
Yeah, we're talking about a book today.
This one!
Shocking everyone. I loved the adult characters. They were so perfect in every single way. And when we got to the part in our summary where we found out that Derek and Jeffrey were married, we both squeed. It was just so sweet. But did you have anyone in your childhood or in your teenage years that you kind of used for reference for these characters? Because do you have a favorite librarian that is Ruth? Because Ruth was also great. So where did they come from?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, they're so great.
I don't know. So Derek was very, very loosely. So when I was at university, I went to Hong Kong to do an exchange. And there was a man who he was supposed to be on the desk, and he would just line up loads of chairs, and he would bring in a duvet and he would just sleep. And that's just what he did. So that was the little initial image came from there. And then he just turned into this Cockney, and then all of a sudden he was a copper, and I don't know where he came from.
So great.
I just like the idea of a little Cockney white boy kind of being in charge, and really surprising her that he actually knew what he was doing. And Jeffrey is, again, just based on so the Victorian Street Museum is based on an actual museum in York that I went to on a school trip, like as a teacher. So I took the kids there and I walked in and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the missing link from the story. And I was still writing. And there was a man in there dressed up like top hat and tails with his walking stick. And he was going around greeting all the children as if he was like this Victorian gentleman. So I was just like, oh, he's got to have a part. But Jeffrey was just the like slightly fuddy-duddy older gentleman who, you know, kind of knew it all and wanted to tell everybody about it. And, you know, very kind of, I can't think of how to explain it. You know, like the older gay gentleman who's very, you know, self-assured and dresses very nicely and always has a nice coat.
I'm picturing like Ian McKellen.
There's
kind of,
fancy.
but maybe a bit stockier.
There was a contestant on
big.
Bake Off that, if you've ever seen Great British Bake Off, and he was an older gentleman and he was gay and he loved stylish waistcoats and he would make them himself, but he was a history teacher as well. And
I think I remember.
Yes, and he was he was camp as anything, but in that delightful way that you just want to hug and love and eat his cakes because he was a good baker as well. And Jeffrey kind of reminded me of him. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And so now I want Jeffrey, you know, in a spin-off. This is, it's my fanfic of the week.
Your fan fiction.
Yes! Jeffrey goes on to Bake Off and he wins. That's my fanfic.
I would read that. Definitely.
There we go. And at the end, when they do the Summit Fate thing, Derek's there. Cheering.
Oh, Derek's there.
Derek gets to go there at the end when he's in the finale and and all the friends and family. So we'll see Jeffrey and Derek's friends there, and some of the past students who he's helped, particularly Neve, can be in the background going, oh, yay! To cheer along. There we go. Fanfic of the week. I'm desperately trying to think which Victorian street museum you've been to, because there's one near me called Preston Park.
Okay.
But that's not Yorkshire, that's more Middlesbrough area.
It's the Castle Museum in York. So it's right in the centre. And it's near an old thing called Clifford's Tower.
I've been in it.
Just across.
Yes, I've been in it. It's this.
Yeah.
I sound this with
and
love.
It has all of the things in the book. It has the timers and the lights go up and down and the bird song, and I was just mesmerised by
It's huge and it stinks. But I say that with love because it's that 100-year-old museum smell, you know, where you feel like it's that dusty, musty.
And there are bits where you go in and it does smell like hot chocolate would have been there at one point, and then it smells like horse manure in another bit, and it's so
Preston
clever.
Park is very similar to that, but on a smaller scale. And it's in an old, like, mansion-style house, and it's got, like, the biggest aviary outside, which freaks me out because I do not like most birds. So I don't go near that. But yeah, it reminds me, oh, yes, it's been years since I've been in that museum, and I want to go back now.
Does it?
But it might be haunted.
Does it also have horse manure and hot chocolate?
Probably.
Good.
I think that must just have been the smell of the Victorians.
The Victorians were a weird lot, though.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
What was the...
Definitely.
So how much research did you do into the Victorians to get the whole Memento Mori stuff?
Quite a lot. I just love... I did art history at university, so anything like that, I can't just read a little bit about it. I then go into a massive rabbit hole of weird stuff. So I did a lot, and like to the point where I was on eBay to see if I could buy mourning cards, and then I thought, no, that's a bit weird. They might be haunted. I'm not going to do that.
eBay have got to tell you if it's haunted, I'm sure.
I went to the Wellcome Museum in London. Yeah, you probably charge more if it was haunted. I went to the Wellcome Museum opposite Euston Station in London, and they've got some actual hair work jewelry in there that you can go in and see, and they've got some of the little mourning rings and all that kind of thing. So that was fascinating. And then the American Victorians were even weirder about it. So all the Civil War stuff, like they would literally make like wreaths out of dead people's hair or keep the braids. And so that's where the stuff at the end of the story, when he literally has all of these handmade wreaths and stuff in the crypt, that's all based on more American kind of mourning jewelry than English. But I just, took what I wanted and changed history a little bit for my book.
It's your universe. You're the Lord Master.
And then you set it on fire and walk away.
I'm so glad she did that. That's one of the things about Neve I absolutely love. She's like, right, weird shit's happening. I'm going to go and tell an adult. Weird shit's happening. I'm going to burn it down.
Yeah.
That I can get behind that. Sensible girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the weirdest thing that you ever found, that you saw the Victorians do or make or have? Because Victorians are weird.
Ooh. They are weird. So there is some dentures that people would keep because they've been made out of other people's teeth. So dentures that were made from dead people's teeth. And somewhere you'll find it floating around on the internet. There's a ring with a glass eye in it that somebody's kept somebody's glass eye and turned it into a piece of jewellery that they could keep.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I would wear that. I like my rings. I would wear that. I would wear someone else's eyeball. I would not want to wear someone else's teeth.
No,
it's very grim.
Yeah.
And the photographs of dead people. So because photographs were quite new and they couldn't you had to stay still for a photograph because it had such a long exposure time. So most families didn't have photographs of themselves. So when somebody died, they would take the corpse for a photograph because it would stay still.
I'll be worried if it didn't.
And sometimes they painted the eyes on, or sometimes they just propped them open. So again, get on Google. There is lots and lots of pictures of Victorian dead people, and unfortunately, there's quite a lot of children as well, because so many kids died and people wanted to keep those. But there's a couple where it's like half the families, something's happened to them, and they're all just in the photo. It's
just stacked up. Arranged.
Just like leaning.
Yeah.
Just leaned against something. It's bizarre. And there's a really spooky one somewhere of I think they do a similar thing now. If you have a baby and sit them for a portrait, I think sometimes like they will sit them on the parent's lap and now they'll Photoshop them out. But in the Victorian times, they would just drape the woman in black and then put the baby on. So there'd just be this draped black figure and like a small child in the front. So, they were brilliant.
They're great, but they're creepy AF. I mean, as the creepy from our standards, where you just pick up your phone and you've got a camera and you can take pictures of whoever. But that's
all the planning that must have had to go into it and get it organised. And...
It's like they would send like morning biscuits out to people, and there were specially stamped biscuits to go, basically announcing people's death. It's like, oh Harry, he's died. Have a biscuit.
Yeah, he would have wanted you to
have a dunk. Make it in his memory. Have a dunk.
Yeah,
just weird. It's like.
It is. It's strange.
It's like excessive.
And like the morning card, so a business card, but that essentially says, "Oh, he's dead."
He's propped up over in the corner over there. You can go and see him.
He's just having his photo taken. Go and see him in a minute.
Sorry, the funeral service is taking a bit long, so the photographer's a bit busy. Weird.
Oh man.
Yeah, lots of weird and wonderful things, definitely.
Oh, I love it. So you've done a lot of research, and you included Spring-Heeled Jack in this story, which I didn't know that Spring Hill Jack was a guy. And then afterward, after I read it, I was like, oh, this guy's so cool. And then I read about him. So are you going to do any more Victorian villains? Do you have like...
Not at the moment. No. My next book's quite different, actually, in terms of, like, it's not really about folklore and stuff like that. There is a little bit of history in it, but it's made up.
Fun.
So maybe there's talk about potentially for a little bit of pre-order swag, I might be revisiting Tommy and Jane and doing a little short story.
That's fun.
But that's not been properly confirmed yet, but we're floating that idea around because I've got their love story kind of in my head. Their tragic,
that's fun,
awful
pre-mangling
love story. So potentially I'll go back to that.
It was so sweet at the end. It was so sweet. I know I was talking about him caressing the bones and whatever. That was so sweet. And then, she goes to check on the portrait later and she's got a wedding band on. And it was so sweet for a fire-breathing murderer.
Non-fire-breathing murderer.
I actually had...
You didn't breathe fire. That's the disappointment.
I had a message off someone who said, can I just ask, would she not be really annoyed at him? Like all the horrible stuff he's done.
Probably. I mean, she did try and stop him. She did, communicate with me.
She was trying to help
from being silly.
Yeah.
But was she just doing that because she was jealous? Like, don't go chasing after that girl. I'm right here.
Victorian standards are different standards to ours.
Yes. It's reasonable.
So, no, not at the minute. I'm playing with some Venetian folklore, possibly, in the future. So, but I was on a 2-book deal and I'm trying to get the next one. So I'm in kind of talks with my editors and stuff about what would go down well and all that kind of thing.
Your next one comes out in...
I'm not famous enough yet to just write what I want. So if everybody just buys loads of my books, then I can just write.
Yes. So Book Depository in America, because you can't just go to the bookshop for it. So go to Book Depository.
No, you can't. Not yet. Hopefully, maybe in the future. I'm hoping book 2 might make an appearance in the US a bit more.
I was still able to get it on my Kindle and
you can get it on Kindle,
on Audible, so that was fine.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the audio book. Actually,
actress on Audible, she's so good. When they sent me the audition and she was Irish, I was like, "Yep, sold." There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, brilliant. So so in the future, I do like folklore and stuff, and I find it a really nice jumping off point to kind of let my imagination carry away with itself. Because I always think these stories have got to have some grain of truth in them somewhere.
That's where it gets spooky.
There's got to be something. So, I'd like to, definitely.
And your next book comes out in January, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's exciting.
So I've just literally today and tomorrow finishing this edit on it, and then I think I have 1 or 2 more before it goes to print in kind of October, November.
Nice.
That's fun.
It's been a quick turnaround on this one, so.
Well, we're excited for it.
Yay, thank you.
And we'll have to force you to come back and talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's quite different, so it's it'll be interesting to see what people make of it.
Can you tell us anything about it, or is it all still very secret?
I don't know how to tell people about it at the minute without spoiling it, because I've not really practiced. But the blurb says, so the basic story is it's a boarding school, but it's a selective boarding school, so they only pick really, really clever people, and everyone's there on a scholarship. So everyone's there from really different backgrounds. And the last head girl died. And at the start of the book, somebody sends a note and says, she didn't die, I killed her.
Whoa.
And so then everyone who's kind of head girl starts meeting not very nice fates. So somebody's killing off people who are destined to be head girl, because it's like this big sought after thing where they get university paid for and they can pick wherever they want to go and it's all funded, and so it's a really big deal to kind of be head girl. So, and it's told from 2 points of view. So we've got our main character Liz, and we have got the murderer. On 2 points of view.
That's so fun. Ooh, I love
My money's on a prefect. I've been in those schools where everybody's jealous of the head girl. They just become prefects, and you have to do toilet duties and stuff and make sure the year 7s don't mess things up.
Oh my god, I forgot about toilet duty.
I got out of that. I was on hallway duty. Thank God.
I don't think I ever did anything. I think I just got the nice tie and then skived around.
Oh, now you see, me and my friends got stationed together on the stairwell in the science block, so we just sat and kept out of the rain. And
and if it rained,
we were perfect. We were
brilliant.
golden. Did we just get really excessively British there, Amanda?
Sorry.
I enjoyed it though. It's great.
And then at 16, we left school.
Yes, no one over here will understand any of that, but it's great.
Oh, dear me. So, is this one going to be as spooky, the second one, as the first one, or is it a bit more grounded in reality?
Yeah, it's a bit more contemporary, a bit more realistic. So,
okay,
not particularly supernatural. But then I don't want to say that because there's definitely some weird element. I've still snuck some weird, like there's a skeleton who's like all dressed up in gold and jewels and stuff in there. So there's still some weird stuff just thrown in.
That's so much fun. Claire.
I could be in a cosplay.
Right.
Yeah.
Scully Joe's going to have to come out and play for that one.
Scully Joe's going to be.
I can see the pre-order the book, the release day picture already.
Yep. I can already see it as well.
Yeah.
Scully Joe is going to have is going to be bedazzled.
Scully Joe, by the way, is the plastic skeleton I got for Halloween last year, and now he's been adopted into the family. And if you look at the Mina and the Undead pictures, he's in pretty much all of them because when we did the Team Mina with Amy McCaw, he came out to play quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I listened to the YouTube video that you did with Amy McCaw, and my favorite part was the beginning when she asked about like which one is scarier to you, supernatural or like real life horror, and you were talking about like, well, if it's real life, you know where your weapons are, and but then
yeah, God,
like
I know where my weapons are, I know my escape route.
You have a zombie apocalypse
Whether I
plan.
could actually do anything with them, I don't know. I'd probably just cry. But,
do you have a zombie apocalypse plan?
I'd like to think I would try.
Do you have a zombie apocalypse plan?
No, because I don't know if I would just want to be done with it and eaten, or if I would want to like survive. I loved The Walking Dead, but God, it takes so much effort to stay alive. And I don't know if I could be bothered.
I've already decided that I'm gonna die because I have diabetes, and there's insulin's not gonna last forever, so you might as well just sacrifice me.
Oh, listen, I have had so many illnesses in my life. Like, if it wasn't for medicine, I'd be dead anyway. So, yeah, I'd probably last like a year, and then I'd get some really bad chest infection that would just kill me.
Oh, no, I'm just fat and lazy. Like, run, I don't do cardio.
We can all just be eaten by zombies together.
Well, I mean, the ideal plan is you survive and you thrive. But the realistic plan is I'm zombie food. I'm a realist when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you know what always annoys me about zombie films, and I've never been able to actually discuss it with anyone before.
Let's talk.
When they go looting places, why don't they go to the library? Because that's the first place I would go. I'd go to the library and I would find all the books on like what can I eat and it won't kill me, and
yes,
all that stuff is in the library, guys.
Yeah.
So I would go to the library, and and also because it's boring. There's no TV.
Libraries are very defensible as well because you've got the stacks, and the stacks can be used to barricade entrances.
Yeah, they're heavy. They are
Yeah.
heavy. And if you get squished in between them, you know,
And even if
that might not be good.
Well,
exactly,
but-
and even if
Throw them
the
at
stacks that you can't move, books are heavy. Just pile them all up there, you know. And as long as you do it like bricklayer style, that's going to be strong.
Yeah.
There we go. See?
And you can,
So we'll all just hide in the library.
yeah, and you can, you know,
A
like,
library that's attached to somewhere with food.
you know, can I tell, librarian, every librarian has food hidden in places. So you would be fine for a little while.
Like teachers. Yeah, teachers always have a top drawer full of stuff.
Yeah, see, you'd be fine. You'd be fine for a little while. And like you could burn duplicate copies of things, you know, to keep warm and to cook your food, but only duplicate copies. Please don't burn any, like, don't go into the special collections and set any of that stuff on fire. But, you know.
No.
The special collections where you sleep, because that's going to be, you know, usually that's got locks and stuff.
Oh, it's got big
And it's got a heavy door on,
yeah.
and there's no windows. So that's where you know, move all of the good stuff to one side, and that's where you sleep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
And as long as you're
So
barricaded
we've-
in, you can at least find a way out yourself, or make a way out yourself, to then, you know,
Mhm.
go looting. Because, you know, there's no law and order, it's the zombie apocalypse, you're allowed to go to the supermarket and not pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just thinking the library near me is a good choice because there's a big Tesco not far up the road. There we go. And there's a super drug nearby.
Perfect.
So
It's very good.
dry shampoo, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Gonna need dry shampoo in a zombie apocalypse.
definitely.
Not gonna have time to
No,
wash it.
I like the
innit?
coconut
No.
one. Yeah. I like my hair smell like coconut.
I saw a squashies one today,
No.
a drumstick flavour. Yeah. Dry
I don't know if I
shampoo.
would trust that.
Like drumstick lollies.
Oh,
No, and it's by Swizzles. It's by the sweet company, not by a hair.
I would feel like I'm just spraying sugar on my
No,
head.
I wasn't. I think you probably are.
Have you got squashies?
then
Do you
you
have
might-
squashies in America? Oh right, okay. So I haven't packed your care package yet. So I'm gonna have to get a
So you're
bigger
gonna-
box,
yeah.
and I'm gonna get some squishies and some drumstick lollies for you because I think you'd really like them because the, you know when you get like Haribo's and you get, I call them the foamy ones. So, you know, you've got the jelly one at the top and you've got the white foamy bit in the bottom.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the white foamy thing, but as a whole, and it's half pink and half white, and it's got this very thin coating of sugar on. It's not strong, but you can get fizzy ones and you can get plain ones, and they're just like a sweet. They're not, I say they're fizzy, but they're more like a tingle, like a you know when you put like a sour sweet, and
Like
yeah,
sherbet.
yeah,
okay.
they are delightful. I'm gonna have to get you some.
They're proper childhood
Yeah.
sweets. So they're what you had as a kid, drumstick lollies.
I love
Okay,
drumstick
please send
lollies.
me
I don't really
those.
want to.
Drumstick lollies are the best. They're the only lollies that I actually like. I do not endorse any other lolly, only a drumstick lolly. They're on the stick for about 5 seconds because your teeth get in them and then the stick, and then the stick comes out and you've just got this like taffy in your mouth, this really chewy, fruity taffy.
It is like taffy. Yeah.
And you just kind of like chomping away, and then the drool starts if you get one of the extra big jumbo ones. It's messy.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Can I tell you that when
Oh,
you
good.
mentioned the drumstick earlier, I thought of like, you know, like a bird, like a chicken or a turkey
I like
drumstick,
chicken.
and I was
That would be
really,
really horrible, wouldn't it?
I was really grossed out by.
You not need chicken drumstick dry shampoo in a zombie
It's
apocalypse.
KFC's
No.
12
would
secret
just-
It would
spices.
be too delicious.
That's what we put on the bait.
Yes.
Send, you know, the guy at the library who nobody really likes.
Yeah.
We'll spray him and send him in one direction.
Yes. And then you go out the other way and you go and get your lollies.
Yep. Yep.
It sounds great. It sounds like we have a solid plan.
This is amazing.
And I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Very
survive.
excited.
Oh my god.
Who'd have thought it 10 minutes ago?
I'm sure I said
Still not me. Still not me. I still need the insulin. So you guys can send me out first. You can spray the drumstick stuff on me. But let me live for a little while.
We'll let you
and
live for a
then
little
do
while.
it.
Yeah, because we're going to raid Superdrug.
Okay, when we get really
Superdrug's a
desperate.
pharmacy,
thanks.
so, we'll go to Superdrug.
Right.
And Tesco's will have a pharmacy
Yeah.
inside as well. So we'll get all the
Yeah,
insulin
it
stuff.
does.
And
Okay.
remember, we're the UK, not America. We do not rely on guns and bullets, which is the worst weapon you can have in a zombie apocalypse. So,
Yeah.
because bullets run out.
We need bludgeoning tools.
Exactly. As soon as
Yeah.
the gun is empty of bullets, it's just a stick. So,
Right.
but you do have baseball.
Just need a really big, sharp stick to poke them with.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then you can keep them at a distance. So it's fine. Just poke them
Mhm.
right in their eyeball. Hopefully they don't have a glass eye that
Yeah.
you've... pointed into.
Leeds Museum have
Yeah.
got pikes. We need to get Leeds Museum. So we're going to have to be travelling country to get all of this equipment. But they've got full-length, actual historical pikes. They will be good.
See, I was thinking, because I'm in the north, we just have those really big umbrellas, with the big metal point at the end. Just use those.
Kingsman style.
Do they extend? Do they extend when you open?
Oh, you can get the ones that,
Yeah, so you
They're
can.
very unpredictable. Bink.
Either way, this is a good plan. I feel safe now. I feel safer, so it's good.
Yeah, we're sorted. I think we're sorted.
Yep, done.
don't know where. I don't know where we're up to.
This is on par. This is.
It is.
I can't remember what the last question was.
I don't know.
Nobody knows. This is
It
very
doesn't
on par
matter.
from us.
It really is. It really is, and that's the best part. Just talking about the most random things that no one expects.
This is why we always will pre-warn
entertaining.
you and say, we're just going to let the conversation run as naturally as possible. If you don't want to talk about it,
Yeah.
but let us go with it.
Yeah.
I will.
Here's some questions just in case.
I will say one thing I do want to know. Have you ever done a ghost tour or a murder tour? Which one or ones? What was your favourite? Why? And what's the spookiest thing that's happened on them? That's 5 questions.
Right, okay. I've only done one, and it was a Jack the Ripper tour with my American friend. And mainly did it because she was over from America, and I was like, oh, look at what we can do in London. And I made her go around to all these murder sites.
Yes.
I've done that one too.
But I didn't really know
I
a
want
lot
to
about
go.
Jack the Ripper. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I don't remember anything spooky happening. I did have a spooky thing in mind, though, to tell you about, because I don't really have much spooky stuff, which I don't know if I'm happy about or sad about.
I have a theory about that, actually.
Oh, go on.
You know how you have psychic mediums, inverted commas for those who do or do not believe, and they're like, ooh, spiritual things. If you've got psychic mediums, then you've got the exact opposite. You've got psychic nulls. So people who will never, ever, ever experience anything psychic because it just won't happen. And I believe if that is true, I am one of them, because I've been to many graveyards, many mausoleums, many ghost tours. I've done every ghost tour in Edinburgh, I think, at least 2 or 3 times, bar one, because it's new and I've just seen it. And nothing ever has happened that's been spooky. So I think I'm one of these that just, is a null. So if there's a ghost there, it's kind of like a fizz. That's my theory.
Because I spent my entire teenage years convinced that I was, a witch or a psychic or, something. And yeah, you're probably right. The only one I can think of is when I must have been about 14, and a friend and I she was staying at my house, and we must have been about 14 because we were allowed to kind of go off wandering. And so we went to the library.
Perfect.
Because you do. Exactly. She was my fellow point horror geek at school. And so we were walking back from the library to my house, and we were passing a graveyard. And whereas now I'd go in and take the shortcut through the graveyard, we walked past and just got all really nervous, and it had gone dark and it had these big gates. So we went over, and my friend shouted "Beelzebub" into the graveyard, and then we both went ah! ran away, and we ran home. And when we got home, she had a glass of Coke in my bedroom, and she knocked it over, and it formed a footprint on the carpet. And we were like, oh my God, Beelzebub's followed us home and knocked the smoke over. Like, that is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
That's delightful.
So I'm definitely one of those null phones you were
Do you
talking
think that's
about.
why people write, like yourself, write the spooky books, because nothing spooky happens to you? So it's like, I need to make it happen.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And I mean, I like to say that I'm not really scared of anything. But one thing I did do, my friend was living in Amsterdam when we were at uni. And some of us went over to visit her, and it was around Halloween. And we went to Madame Tussauds. And as you walked in, there was this like dummy in a chair, like sat there all floppy and horrible. But I could see his eyes, and I was going to my friend, he's real. He's not a waxwork, he's real. And she was like, no, it's a wax museum. And then he jumped up and was like, ah. And, so they had this tour thing that you had to do before you got into the museum. And there was a sign saying, like, you know, pregnant women and people with heart problems, don't go this way, just go through the museum. And I was like, yeah, we'll go. But I've never liked ghost trains, and I've never liked, you know, like haunted house type things. Well, we got into this place and it was a wax museum, but half of the things were real. So people were jumping out at you and you didn't know which one. And oh my God, I just ran through the whole thing. And then me and my friend got towards the end. Like, you know, you can't go any further because there's people in front of you actually enjoying themselves and like in the way. So we got near the end. There's this cage and there's a man in it like rattling the bars of the cage, and I'm going, oh my God, like one of these guys is gonna kill me. And then he flung open the cage door so we couldn't get past. So I grabbed my friend, pushed her out, and ran.
I am not hanging with you in the zombie apocalypse.
Oh God, I know. Absolutely blacked out. When I got to the end, she came out and she was like, yeah, thank you for that. You know?
Oh, I love it.
And I just can't do those things. They like, oh,
don't do the
Halloween,
don't do the Alton Towers
like,
Halloween thing, because that is properly spooky. I know people who've done it and they're really terrified. I
think I'd have a heart attack. Like, so I think for me, writing the spooky things is like, I can control it and it's fine. It's not real. But that is, and God, that must be like 16 years ago.
Wow.
And I just, yeah.
I went to a Madame Tussauds in London, and like the big one, and it had like the waxwork bit, and then it had like, I want to say a dungeon, and it had the wax, like the Victorian death masks on display.
Ooh.
And that was really, really cool. And then they went into the attraction bit, and it was like heart conditions and pregnant people, and they had people jumping out. But it desensitizes you to the area when it has a huge sign saying, please do not touch the actors will not touch you. And you're kind of like, oh, okay. So you're just walking through and laughing at everybody else jumping, because, you know, when you've got a warning sign, you kind of like take heed of it. And it's like, oh no. But the waxwork of the death masks, and they had some of that like Memento Mori stuff that was really, really good.
See, that bit's cool because there's like, it's not going to jump out on you. But then this was like 2004, so I don't think they had to have a sign about touching the actors.
That's because somebody's water's broke.
You just reminded me of another. This is why I'm so scared of stuff like that. I remember being on a ghost train in Ireland as a kid and going through, and they had actors in there because somebody got on the back and like started to breathe. So I just slapped them. So you just heard this guy go, shit, and then get off the thing. And so I just like whacked the actor in the face. But there's just something about it that I must have good survival instincts. I just hit them or grab somebody else and
your fight or flight reactions have certainly been tested, and we know where you fall.
Yeah. I know, I feel really bad now for that friend. I'm gonna have to text her later.
Oh, that's
amazing. That's absolutely.
So, is there anything else that you're excited about? Anything? It doesn't have to be book related. Just anything else you want to talk about?
Oh God. can't think of anything now. I think I'm talked out for the evening. There's like we were saying before, the new films, the new Candyman, especially with Jordan Pelle's doing it. That's going to be.
It's going to be great.
It's just going to be brilliant, and I don't even know what he's doing with it, but it'll be excellent.
I'm so excited for it, and it comes out in just a few weeks, unless they push it back again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I only watched Candyman last year.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Time. I'd never watched it because I think it had been built up so much. I was so scared of it. So then we watched it one night and it was just everything that I ever wanted. It had mythology, it had creepy rooms, it had, like a love story. Oh, it was just real.
So good. It's my favorite one.
It was really good. Girl doing university research, you can't beat a bit of research.
No.
I think every ever right will probably have a library in there somewhere. You got to go and find out the stuff in books. Internet is banned in my new book. They're not allowed on
Whoa.
it. So.
Oh wow.
They have to use the archive.
Yes. Ooh,
I couldn't do my job without the internet.
Stuff that they don't want to know.
My job title literally has the word
I know,
research
I could survive
in
without the
it. I
internet.
need the internet. I can't use books. Wow.
No, you just have to do it the hard
It's
way.
to write a book
I couldn't.
where people all die
I physically couldn't do
in mysterious circumstances without it.
I physically couldn't do my job without the internet because I don't have access to the databases that are in different countries. That's insane.
You just have to try harder.
Yeah. They've all got little burner phones because they're all a little bit dodgy.
Ooh.
Do they have to
I'm excited.
top them up as well with credit?
They have calling cards. Do you guys remember those? Did you have those?
You know what? I didn't think about that. That's potentially a massive plot hole.
You still have some edits to do,
You're
right?
still
You can go back and
drafting
fix it.
fine.
Yeah.
Our gift
Yeah.
to you.
How would you even top up a phone now? I don't even know how
I think
you
it
do
would just be
because it used to be a little scratch off.
Yeah, the little
do it on the internet.
cards.
it would be like on the internet and just put the code in there and
But they can't use the internet. The internet's not allowed.
well, they're screwed.
I am going to have to look this up now tomorrow.
Or maybe it's like a telephone. Yeah,
Said it.
there's a telephone number on it that's free to call, and you call that number, and then you type in the code, and then press like the hashtag, and then it'll say you have topped up with £10 credit.
Okay, that could
There
be.
you go, sorted.
Excellent.
Because I've even slipped in a line somewhere where she goes, "Oh, there are these really old ones called Nokias. And they never need charging."
Please tell me it has
Yes.
original Snake. Please tell me it has original Snake.
Yes.
It says, and there's this really addictive game called
Yes.
a little cheeky 90s reference.
That's wonderful.
I'm dying to write a book set in the 90s so I could properly go back and relive the whole thing, but from the perspective of someone who has a little bit of money and can drink. I think the 90s would have been really fun if I could afford stuff and could drink.
That can be the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody go out and
We'll
read
buy it.
Cynthia's book. Everybody.
Yes.
Now.
Yes, please.
Everyone, and pre-order the next one as soon as you are able to, so we can eventually have the rich drunken 90s story. Oh, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Does anybody else think there might be a Derek and Jeffrey story, a drunk Derek and Jeffrey story set in the 90s in there somewhere? Or am I just
There probably
totally
should
in
be.
love with those two characters?
Oh,
We just love them, I think.
maybe when they meet and
That'd be
go to their
cute.
first Pride. So much.
You know for a fact Derek
so
was in
cute.
uniform.
How? You know what? I often think of how would they meet? Oh yeah. Oh, maybe Derek arrested him for something,
Because he's
low key.
yeah, he's somewhere in costume, and he there's a mistaken identity or something.
Yes.
Oh, or he's doing a protest for something really, lovely.
Yeah, go ahead and
Well,
get started on
Gets
that.
arrested.
We'll be excited for it. It's like you don't have anything else to do. Come on,
You're busy.
write all of these
It's
stories.
not like there's a zombie apocalypse going on right now.
It's fine.
Oh, I know.
Ugh.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully things looking vaguely normal. I would love to have a book launch. I didn't get one last year.
Oh, yeah.
Because I couldn't do anything because everything was shut
Yeah.
here. So it was, because it was in January. It was.
Well, if there's anything online, give us
It
a
was
shout
alright.
because, like, we really enjoyed it with Amy McCall's book when she did Mina. So give us a shout and we'll happily promote the
I
heck.
will do. Amy did my book launch last January, so that was lovely.
That's fun.
So
We love her.
Amy's
Yes.
She's
She
fun.
is. She's so nice,
And Kevin as well.
and her book's brilliant.
Yes. Her husband is now our friend as well.
I met Kevin actually. Yeah, I met him in Manchester one day.
I need to give Kev some Biscoff spread because we've had many a conversation about it. So I feel like I've fed his addiction to it. So I do need to give him a jar of Biscoff spread. One day, Kev, one day.
Oh.
He's going to be so excited that we're talking about him too on the podcast. You know he is. Because we know for a fact
Life
he
made.
actually listens to it. So perfect. It's perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us. This was so much fun. You're an absolute delight, and your book is fantastic, and we're so excited for the next ones.
Yes.
Yeah,
Maybe more.
hopefully.
Where can people
so much
find
fun.
you on the
Thank
world when they're not using a Nokia, when they're using actual technology?
When you're allowed the internet, I am Cynthia Murphy YA on pretty much everything.
Cool.
So Twitter, Instagram. I do have a TikTok, but I'm old and I'm still learning how to use it. So there's bits on there, but I don't use it as much. Instagram's probably my main one because I like pictures, and if you like dogs, my dog is always on my Instagram.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
And Twitter, I'm always on Twitter. Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Facebook as well, but it's not as interactive. It's just there. But everything is Cynthia Murphy.
Cool.
YA.
Head on over there and
Excellent.
keep an eye on Cynthia's books in January. I'm so excited. I'm going to pre-order as soon as I
Yes.
can.
Yes.
It's out on my birthday,
Oh,
which
Oh.
is really cool. I know.
That's fun.
So I get a birthday and a book birthday. That's exciting.
That's so much fun.
and sorry, not sorry, but you're now inducted into the Fictional Hangover family. We are officially obsessed over you. We will follow you everywhere and we'll
Yep.
promote you to high heaven because we love you and you had Spring Hill Jack in your book, which made
Yes.
me happy.
Thank you so much for
Well,
having
thank
me.
you for joining us. It's been absolutely
Thanks.
wonderful.
Yes. Thanks so much.
Thank you for helping me finalize my zombie apocalypse plan.
Yes.
That's a thing I can check off now, and I won't worry about it anymore.
Excellent.
It'll be perfect. And you can sacrifice me with the drumstick spray when you're ready, and it'll be
12
okay.
slices.
We've already
I
talked
appreciate
about
that.
it, so it's fine. And it's out in the world now. So
Legally binding.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
it's a verbal contract. It's done. Oh my gosh. Yikes. Thank you. You're the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that's it for this bonus episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss The Golden Lily by Rochelle Mead. Ooh, more bloodlines! Look out for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book club and monthly challenges on Facebook. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise. And become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com, follow us on Instagram at fictionalhangover, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover, and on Twitter at fictionalhangover, no ER. If you'd like this episode, check out our others and rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for our music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.